Welcome to our executive interview series at the 2025 Zero Trust Summit here at the Spy Museum, presented by CyberScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Ian Leatherman, Zero Trust Strategist for Security Solutions Group at Microsoft. Ian, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
So, first question for you is, what do you see as still being the biggest operational challenges that most government agencies are still facing in establishing a truly functioning zero trust environment?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things we're finding is folks still just don't understand their operational environment. So they're making decisions based on what they think they have. And in most agencies, that's their accreditation documents, which are based on what they wish the system would be, but not factoring in all those little nuances of how the system have changed or how their employees are actually using systems. To include employees trying to do their job, they are moving data to some commercial SaaS tool that is solving their problem, but it didn't necessarily have an approval process or things like that. So one of the biggest things that we're doing is just trying to get the basic, we're calling it the sensor up effort, kind of going off of what CISA had with their shields up effort. But you can't put your shields up if you don't know where the attacks are coming from. So let's actually sensor up, figure out where all of your digital assets are, regardless of network, and then go from there. But that's still the biggest challenge is the digital estate is not what's inside your network perimeter. It's your digital estate regardless of where it lives. And most organizations just still haven't figured out their digital assets. And basic EDR is that first step. Find those user behaviors and what your employees are actually doing versus what you wish they were doing.
And then, where are you seeing signs that AI and the dawning of 6G wireless communications and new cloud-based security tools, how will those help accelerate agency efforts to establish better zero trust practices?
Yeah, so the AI has been constantly changing, right? There's a lot of risks that come with AI, but also extreme benefits. So haven't been playing with a lot of these things in our hackathons at Microsoft, and one effort actually takes those accreditation documents and what you think your system should be, and actually takes it through the AI with a visual recognition process, runs that through MITRE ATT&CK, and then spits it out and says, here are the architectural vulnerabilities in your system. And so now rather than having a human have to go through and say, here's all of my systems, you can start with what's accredited or what are my documentations, find what vulnerabilities exist as mapped by MITRE, and then you can map those against CVEs, or not just CVEs, but also actual attacks by the adversary and see what are active today, what systems might be exploited. So it helps triage which of the many systems you have, which of those that architecturally are most at risk. And we're seeing AI really just help take the human out of the loop there and accelerate it in the triaging process. But that just goes for any of these systems. If you're worried about, okay, how do I implement 6G, that helps get the data collection or data connections to places, but it's still understanding what's the architectural possibilities and what are the architectural risk factors. The fact that you can take existing LLMs that exist in unclassified and classified environments today and run these through just really helps give those operators and defenders a leg up, no longer manually searching through systems and relying on one SME to manually go through hundreds of architectures and approve them or find vulnerabilities.
And real briefly follow up, when do you see 6G becoming operational, and how will that impact zero trust in the way agencies are better able to secure their networks?
Yeah, 6G, honestly, I still don't see it on the near-term horizon, at least in government spaces. I think it's going to be yet another network connection. So in terms of zero trust and the way that we're approaching it, it necessarily won't help or hinder because we're assuming from our way we approach zero trust, all networks are compromised all the time. So if you're extending a private boundary out with 6G, that doesn't change your zero trust architecture necessarily. It provides better, faster connectivity for those resources and another routing process. But we should just treat that as if it's connected to the internet like all other sources from a zero trust standpoint, at least.
Well, Ian Leatherman, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to join us and share your perspective on zero trust here at the Zero Trust Summit.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.